Hey ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, where we talk about the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. This is Mark, along with John. We welcome back Pete, Steph, and a little baby guest Liam right there. And also joining us are our friends for the first time, Miss Amy Hotaling and Mara. Good evening, Amy. And I almost butchered your last name.
I've had worse.
I think this is the most simultaneous guest we've had on the show.
Producer in training, Liam Steffen.
So many and dogs.
Oh, and animals.
Art director and creative director,
as a kind of reminder,
Steffen.
if you like what you hear, and create, as a kind of reminder, if you like what you hear or see, please like us or hit that subscribe button, or as we all like to say, tickle that little bell. Anyway, John, how you been?
I'm doing great. So the weirdest thing just happened, and that's how I know one of the many reasons I know I'm old. But we just looked at Jamie's first high school.
Oh my gosh.
We went to a high school open house with a whole bunch of other people, and it was wild. And it was interesting because I went to a college prep, so non-regents, all-boys school. So this was a college prep, non-regents, all-girls school. That is literally like less than a mile away from my house. So yeah, it was cool. Honestly, I was impressed.
You want another thing that'll make you feel a little old? My niece going to college next year.
No. Well, I mean, Mark, let's just be honest, bud.
Yes.
You are old. You are old.
You're older than I am.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't like to talk about it.
Stephen Fords, how are we doing?
We're doing
One word. Norovirus.
yeah, pretty much.
That's been the week.
Yes,
So
we're all very sick.
He's been in
Well,
daycare for a
getting
week and a half, and you're sick already?
Yeah.
1 week and he got
1
sick.
week and he got it over the
that
weekend.
sucks, guys. I'm so sorry.
And passed it to mom.
I know.
Has he been making out with all the other the lady babies?
Whoa.
Is that what he's been doing?
It's gross, Uncle Mark.
I don't want to know.
It's terrible.
You took it too far, Mark.
I thought this was a safe space, guys. I thought this was a safe space.
Sorry.
Too
It's
far.
like Baby Bachelor.
Baby Bachelor.
Hey, they're doing Golden Bachelor, so why not go the other way, too?
I mean, I swear they'll probably make it one day.
They might. They might. We all need more content, right?
I mean,
Got the cord wrapped around him.
Oh no.
Hazard.
Technical difficulties on
guys,
this
it's a
side.
weird sentence to start the show with. I gotta tell you.
What, norovirus?
No, he's got the cord wrapped around him.
Well, he did.
I know.
Oh, not that cord.
I know.
That one's been cut off.
You're like, yo.
Oh.
It's a good thing we actually have video associated with this, right? Or I don't know. The audio is going to be great to edit, isn't it, John?
Yeah. So, Mark, how you been, bud?
What do you have to say?
Things are good.
Oh, there he goes.
Real estate still. Yeah. Hey, Liam. Hi.
You guys missed it right before the mics turned on. He literally said, hello.
But yeah, so like I said, real estate's going pretty crazy. The other gig is going crazy too. And then I got kickball playoffs coming up this week. So
Kickball.
Well,
Kickball. That's some serious stuff right there.
Kickball is one of the I don't know. It is like a child game, but I get so much fun from playing it. I don't know. I know Liam.
He disagrees.
So fun.
Liam's like, I want to play kickball.
Steph and I used to play on a kickball league together.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
I sucked.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was worse. I subbed in for you guys occasionally. That was fun.
And I sucked.
Yep,
It was fun though.
it was.
Let's get to know our friend Amy a little bit better, shall we?
Yay.
So, a little over 4 years ago, after a lifetime in upstate New York, you grabbed your dog and up and moved to Alaska. Please tell us about the move, the differences between two dogs, the differences between two completely different parts of the world or even country, and what's your favorite part of Alaska besides your fiance or your dogs?
Hey, Amy, can you shift a little to the right, please? Thank you.
There, at least I have a rolly chair. Is that better?
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So you asked me like what the differences are. So so the people out here are laid back compared to New York. So
Mhm.
like for example, like up my whole entire adulthood, I worked at a job that if you were late, you got in trouble. Like you called out, you got in trouble. Now like my boss is like whatever. Like she's not like whatever, but like she's like more you know she's like more understanding. So they make a funny joke. You'll see it online where it says like some of the acceptable excuses for being late to work are because like all right, so there's one way in, one way out in Alaska, and it's the Glen Highway. And if there's an accident, they shut the highway down. And so you could be like standing in traffic for like 5-6 hours. So like that's an acceptable excuse to be late for work, which is like there's an accident on the Glen, or there's a moose licking the salt off your car.
Are you really?
That happen a lot?
In general.
Yeah, like, are you really going to get out and argue with a 3,000-pound moose?
Exactly. But yeah, so like I mean one of the biggest differences is that it's just like the mentality. People are very laid back here, which is an interesting for my favorite person, my fiance, because he's very laid back and he's very like go with the flow kind of thing. And I'm like, no, 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 you gotta plan this. I gotta know this, and you have to do this detail, that type of thing. So we're like, you ever see those memes about people who say like the healthy relationships are one person who just like doesn't give a fuck, and then the other person
Who
has
really
high
gives a
anxiety,
fuck.
That's us.
Same.
Same.
That's our dynamic right there.
I resonate with that remark.
So it's like
Yeah.
that's one of the differences. And then of course like there's the big difference, which is the daylight. So like right now we're on the up and up. So I'm having a hard time sleeping lately, and
I'm sorry.
I've been struggling.
What does that look like for
you
the
don't have
people who
much.
don't live in Alaska? Like how late
well,
is it?
so-
How late is it not dark specifically?
So the sun, I left my phone upstairs. So like the sun's starting to set at like 7 o'clock now. Maybe a little bit before, and then it comes up at like 8, and then every day it gains like maybe 1 to 2 minutes on the front end and the back end. So when we hit the summer solstice, it's gonna be light consistently, not like bright light. It'll be like dusk kind of thing for just like a couple minutes, and then the sun will start to come back up again.
Yeah, I experienced that about a year and a half ago in Iceland because I went there right around right after the summer
Right.
solstice, and we got to one end of the island at like I don't know 1 a.m. or something like that, and we started to drive back towards Reykjavik, and it was still light out. Now, yeah, it wasn't like bright and sunny, but it was you could still see like well out in advanced and whatnot. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it makes it kind of interesting for camping in the summer because you got to get used to like going to sleep and it's still light out kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So we have a toy hauler and it has like blackout curtains because if not, like the light's always inside the
Right.
inside the
Yeah.
thing. So
Can we talk about how you biked to
It's
Canada
got a
this
parking.
week?
how I bike to Canada?
I saw your bike in Canada, so I was like, how did that actually happen?
Um,
She's like, I did.
so as far as I'm aware, I didn't bike to Canada this week. But
Well, recently, I don't know. If
Okay,
you,
she didn't. She didn't. Lee.
you made the
It's like
baby
you do in
cry.
Alaska. You shoot
Amy, you
guns
made
at
the baby
mountains.
cry.
Right. You
Yeah.
bike across
Gosh, Amy.
mega distances.
Sorry, baby Liam. No, I think I remember that coming up as like a memory, but no, it happened in July, maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. I always have things on my bucket list, and I used to vacation out in northern Maine and right on the border of Canada. So I got on my bike one day and I rode.
I definitely misunderstood that picture, so
I rode.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's still kind of legendary. I mean, you still have to. Did Border Patrol be like,
Oh,
where
yeah.
are you going? What are you claiming?
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's a 2018.
Just
I'm
riding
bad-
my
I'm
bike.
bad at reading.
And
Whatever.
honestly, that is actually on my bucket list of things to do is to drive on the Alcan, so through Canada. And just recently, we bought like a third car for us because I need to use that as a commuter car because my car kind of eats gas. and I couldn't find one because it's like slim pickings out here. So I told Jeff, and I'm like, I am gonna fly to Seattle, and I'm gonna buy a car, and I'm gonna drive it home in the Alpine.
Oh,
That's
cool.
great.
That's a great road.
That sounds
we drove
awesome.
That's a pretty ride in the through the
Yeah.
Rockies.
so
Yeah.
pretty.
We
We
did that just
I
a
know,
little
right?
yeah, we drove it from Seattle to Vancouver. Not as far north as you, but
bit. No,
still.
and then we drew. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Vancouver.
That was a gorgeous ride. We caught the sunset right when we were halfway and found this little peak to stare at
Sorry,
it
that was
out of
before you.
along the water.
Amy, how long's
Yeah,
that
sorry,
drive?
buddy. We'll get there.
Jeff did it when he moved down to Georgia, and then he moved back. But I think it's like 3.5 days or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's far. It's really far.
That is long.
Pete
Oh,
and
Liam, we've
Pete,
upset
Mark,
the
and I,
Liam.
Pete, Mark, and I have a friend who drove from New York to Alaska after he graduated college. His name's
Who's
Oak.
this? Do I know this person?
Have you met Oak? I don't know. Maybe.
You were muted.
Oh.
Sorry. He's got his Alaska shirt and his moose socks for Amy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was courtesy of Amy as a gift, but I think Leah might be done with the show. Maybe.
That's okay. We are
Okay,
always happy to see our littlest producer.
We bought some time.
All right, well,
Producer
we are
in training.
we are
I
at
bought
time.
time.
We are at
Yeah,
time
Steph
for
bought
that
time.
question. So if Pete wants to ask his question,
Yep. I will say, if you get a chance, visit Amy in Alaska. It's gorgeous. Well, I mean, even if and she's our lone listener up there too.
well, maybe not. Maybe Jeff listens.
Maybe or hey,
She's one of our.
you're gonna start. She's gonna
many
start a
listeners.
whole. You're gonna start a whole following of Alaskan listeners now.
you can
with
be
this
the
podcast.
you can be the head of the president of the
So-
Alaska fan club.
to switch to a little bit more active activities. You've always been incredibly active, including stuff like with sports, soccer club, snowboarding, biking, many other things. We talked about biking already, but unfortunately because of this, you play very hard. So you kind of go all out 150% every time, and this has turned into a couple sports injuries. Oh, we've lost Liam, guys.
It's okay.
Including two, it's okay, not one, but two torn ACLs, and I think surgery on one of them. So how hard is it to stay active, being aware of these injuries, and like how have you overcome them to continue snowboarding through them and keep playing stuff?
Correction, it's 3. Actually, not 2.
Oh, rough.
Oh, you're right.
no.
You
So you
retore the
tore
one.
one
I forgot
twice?
about that.
I did.
Oof.
The first one I had surgery on, and then the second one I did when I was in New York. I rehabbed it, and then the third one I did it the second summer I was here. I accidentally tripped over. Well, I didn't trip. I stepped on second base wrong while I was playing softball, and I tore it.
That's rough.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So obviously I don't play soccer anymore. I can't. I physically can't. Like,
Yeah,
if I
that's rough.
did, I'd probably have to have my leg amputated.
You don't need a knee. It's fine. It's totally fine.
And then I can't really play softball. Like I haven't played softball since I tore it the third time. So let me just put it that way. But anyways, the one thing I will not give
You'd
up.
have to be like the Babe, just like call out your big hits and then just walk to the base.
Oh yeah. Actually, the day that I tore it, it was the first
I
game that Jeff
freeze?
and his kids
You didn't.
actually was able to come to the game. And I didn't want to go out because I was so embarrassed. It was the first game that they had ever come to watch me play because like our schedules have always conflicted. And I didn't want to get a designated runner that day, so I ran it out, the pain, and I sure felt it. the
Wow.
next day.
Good for you.
But so yeah, so that kind of answered your question. How do I overcome it? I just don't give up. But yeah, so anyways, the one thing I won't give up is snowboarding. Like the one thing I refuse to give up. So I actually wear a knee brace when I snowboard. And I retaught myself how to ride a different direction. So I used to ride with my left foot forward, and that's my weakest knee. And then so I retaught myself how to ride the other way. So I overcame it that way. And then
That's
I bike lock.
really hard to do, you guys. When you're used to one stance and you switch to another snowboarding, that's crazy. That's like learning how to ride left-handed if you're righty or vice versa.
Yeah.
But you're plummeting down a mountain 20 miles an hour. So,
that little
you
thing.
know.
Just plummeting.
So, Pete, I have to tell you, that video that you had made of us, like, I don't know, like 7-8 years ago? And
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, my soon-to-be stepkids, they snowboard too, and they'll be like, Amy, can you do this? Can you do that? And, like, I pull up the video, and I just show it to them. They're like, that's so cool.
Oh.
They're like,
Nice.
you're just doing it.
Yeah, I put together this little edit of like 2 years of us skiing when my GoPro was still working, and it was this epic, like I think winter 16 and 17. It was us at like Jay Peak, Whiteface, Gore Mountain, some other Vermont mountains, maybe. I think
Post it on the
Sugarbush.
YouTube.
Like, so there's some gorgeous.
We have a
It's on my
platform,
YouTube
Pete.
channel. If anyone
Post
wants
it
to
on
look
our
at it.
YouTube channel.
Okay, all right.
Hell
fine.
yeah, we have a platform, man.
I mean,
We
it's
can do whatever
old
we want.
now, but
It's all right.
it does show Amy doing some shredding down the mountain, and then I think Morgan's in there too, a bunch of friends of ours, and then
We get our Alaska following up.
Morgan's
showing
brother
more
is in there
skiing
somewhere.
videos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. It's a good time. I miss skiing / boarding with you, Amy. It's been too long. We got to get to Alyeska.
No.
I can't stop
It's
talking
actually
about snowboarding.
Did you say snowboating?
Yes, snowboarding. I didn't just. It's
It's fine.
side note. I really like Liam's Zubaz bib. I want one. Like a lot, actually. It's really
Yes.
awesome.
Oh,
Well, your birthday just passed.
I know. I have to
we could've
wait.
got you one for that.
Sad
I know.
panda. And to round it all out, my friends, over the years, there have been tons of stories and shenanigans, and I wanted to take a moment to go over some of your favorites with the listeners, especially the legend of Boat Day.
Oh my god.
The floor is yours, Amy.
It's not boat day unless Amy passes out on the bow.
Hey!
Like, we have a picture. I gotta find it because it's in my Google Photos because I save everything in Google. But there's literally a picture. One year, I'm in the same position, passed out. And then next year, I'm in the same position, passed out. All on the bow of.
Could you do like a whole like collage or montage of just Amy passed out pictures?
Oh, yes. That sounds great.
Everyone else has it but me. Wasn't there the one time where didn't like somebody, you guys told me about this after I woke up, where somebody like passed us, like we were like anchored in Log Bay or something like that, and I was passed out, and they asked if I was all right.
You're like, that's funny. We
He passes out on every boat day, so
It's not boat day until that happens.
It's not
Not
boat
boat
day
day
until
until I
Amy
pass
passes out. Come on, we need
That
more
sounds like a
though.
t-shirt.
Did you guys do a major grilling
Oh, that would be
extravaganza in the pouring rain during your camping trips?
Oh, it rained at least half the time, maybe more than half the times that we were there. We had some epic rain.
Yeah.
Liam.
Tell you one of the worst ones was one year that it rained and it was just like cold and miserable, and I'm like,
Aw.
Yeah, that sucks. It sucks when it's like really.
Did you
bad
pass out
when
that
you're-
day?
when you're camping?
I don't think I did.
I think no, we still did. It was the next day. It was beautiful for like the morning, and then we raced to avoid a oncoming storm. Maybe that might have been a different year, but we found that awesome cove, and we never found it again.
yeah,
The Beer Fest Cove?
because it didn't
Yeah.
actually exist.
It really,
amazing.
it was incredible.
In your collective imaginations.
It had a little like, it had like a little 10 or 12-foot rock that you could climb up and jump off of, and it was like super deep, beautiful water, and just super calm and off to the side. And there were only like a couple boats in there. Everybody was just hanging out.
Nice. That's awesome.
Paradise Cove, maybe? I don't know. It's in Lake George somewhere.
Yeah.
Two
it was
tickets to Paradise Cove.
I don't know. You know who knows?
Yeah. Chris found it.
Yeah.
He was driving and he was like, I think this is it. And just ducked in. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Never found it again.
Out here, we only have, like, close by, we have this one lake, it's called Big Lake. And I actually told Jeff, and I was like, I want to rent a boat. I want to go out on a boat, you know?
Is that the glacier lake that we ATV'd around?
No.
No, that was a Clutna Lake.
So is Jeff not a...
Oh, I lost you. What'd you say?
They might have.
I think they were going to ask about Jeff being on boats.
They might have exploded.
Possibly.
Well, you were talking about boating in Alaska. So have you had a chance to do that yet?
I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't. I mean, the only boat that I've been out on Alaska is that we sorry, I'm voice texting.
It's all right.
We went
You focus on us.
So
They're
we
fine.
went out we went out to Homer and we did a halibut charter because like his family doesn't like fish except for halibut. It's like the most like unfishy fish. And so that was like the only fish that they would eat. So we went out and we paid like $1,000 and took the whole family halibut fishing. And, you know, we caught our limit. I think I caught like 5 halibut and then like I caught a stingray or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
So that's the only time I've actually been out on a boat here. But it's not the same. Like it's 100% not the same like without Steph and Pete.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
back.
They're back.
I wonder if it's my camera freezing or something.
Maybe. It made Discord really mad. It made my computer really mad. Mark, we got a whole bunch of gray screen there, so you don't yell at me later. Just letting you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. We had all of the IT issues last week, so it's only fair to have for you to continue this week.
I yelled at the girls to get off.
Sorry. Yeah. I wonder if my camera there is just overheating or something's weird.
I don't know.
Got this pretty new camera and it looks really nice, but it's not going to work if
Mark,
it
I
overheats.
think we are good to start, my friend. Are you ready?
All right.
And you
Let's
guys
go.
are boring me, so I'm gonna leave. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Liam.
Bye, Liam.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. Are we ready to kick off the shindig?
Hell yeah.
I guess it's time for the first topic.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Can
Good
use
drop.
that if you want,
Good drop.
John.
Good drop, homie. Good drop.
I've forgotten about the first topic soundbite for a little while, but
I've been using
I
them.
remember
I've been
this time.
filling
Anyway,
it in.
So with another Super Bowl behind us, you may think that we have no reason to talk NFL football. Well, you would be incorrect, as now the offseason period still has a lot to talk about. Currently, we are in the period where teams may need to sever ties with big names because of the salary cap, which is an arbitrary number of money that each team is allowed to spend on its players. One of those cuts that will happen next week when the NFL calendar restarts will be Russell Wilson, who just a year and a half ago signed a 5-year, $245 million contract.
I heard they're taking an $85 million hit.
I'm getting to it.
Ah.
Patience.
So exciting.
All in all, this move will take up almost 20% of their salary cap for next season and an overall $85 million over the next 2 seasons. So, everyone, what does it say that the Broncos are willing to take a big salary cap hit just to get rid of Russell Wilson?
You know, honestly, I think that Sean Payton just didn't want to figure it out. And partially, we have talked about this a lot. He was brought in to figure it out, but he couldn't. And so, I mean, they were better last year for sure, but they were abysmal in 22. Mm-hmm. So, is the problem Russ? Not necessarily. I mean, Courtland Sutton is pretty good, and the running game is okay, but they only have one receiver, and I mean, they're kind of stale offensively. So, I mean,
no, they have a couple good receivers.
But here's the thing about what Sean Payton said. He goes, well, I can't fire the receiving core, and I can't fire all the offensive line or all the whole defensive line. Like, I have to make a change. And quarterback's a really good start, honestly.
That's a lot of dead cat money, though.
It's a lot of dead. And in all seriousness, Russell Wilson didn't really have that bad of a year statistically. Like, he had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He threw for over 3,000 yards. I don't know what he did for rushing. 341 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. So he didn't. I mean, he didn't have a year worthy of a $50 million man, but he had an okay year. So, and we do have to keep in mind that Russell Wilson wasn't was there first, and then Sean Payton there. Nathaniel Hackett was the one that wanted Russell Wilson. So it's probably not necessarily fair that that Sean Payton had a quarterback that he probably didn't really want, but I guess he did try for about a season. But I don't know. Could you just imagine, just like, again, here is about like a fifth of all the money that you're gonna spend, like, say, for the whole year, and just say, you know what, I don't want to deal with you, just go away.
Fuck it, I'm out.
Like, that's essentially what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's that's ballsy.
So I was
$39 million he's guaranteed next year.
Damn.
But I heard that they're doing this because they already spent that guaranteed money, but they're doing this to avoid another $37 million in guaranteed money, right? So it's almost like losing a bunch of money at the casino, but then getting up before you lose all your money, right?
But why not try to trade him?
Because, I mean,
Or do you think there was no one who wanted to trade
he
him?
clearly doesn't work in the program. He just clearly doesn't work in Denver, which, I mean, sucks for Denver fans, honestly, because the team's blown up for at least 5 to 10 years now. But they got to start somewhere, I guess, is the devil's advocate point of the argument, right? They got to start somewhere, and Russ is the easiest place to start. Maybe not the best place or the right place, but definitely the easiest place.
Amy, could you imagine something like a scenario like that? Like, say you wanted to, I don't know, you say you bought a car, okay, and a car is so much of the money that you earn for a year or whatever like that, and you just say, you know what, I don't like this car, I'm just not going to use it. Like, would you do something like that? That's essentially what the Broncos are doing with Russell Wilson, who's their quarterback.
Well, I mean, it's more like they bought a house and they're burning it. They're burning it down so they don't have to buy a second house.
Yeah. I mean, it's not practical, but it is the NFL.
Mm.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
I mean, it's their loss that they're still paying on it.
Yeah, well, and they're gonna spend money on other players too. I mean, they think, this is what I've really laughed at. Like, they have Jarrett Stidham, and they think that he's going to be their quarterback. Jarrett Stidham, who couldn't make it on the Patriots, couldn't make it on the Raiders, and I guess now he's okay for the Broncos. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think any of those top guys.
One thing too that we have to keep.
Go
ahead, John.
I don't think any of those top, like the Drake Mays and the Caleb Williamses and the Jalen, whatever his name is, I don't think any of those top quarterbacks are going to last at 12. I don't think they're going to get any of those guys at 12.
Of course not.
Which is unfortunate. Not. I mean, 12 is pretty high.
They're going to be gone with the first 3 picks. Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to get like a...
They're going to have to trade up if they're going to get one of those quarterbacks.
Yeah. Or they can enter the Justin Fields
lottery. You can
lottery.
Clearly get a quarter. Yeah. Well, that is, I guess that is something that they could do, but I don't know if they have the draft capital to do that because, they gave it all away to get Russell Wilson. That's the other thing that that you have to consider. You gave up all this draft capital to get him, and now you're just throwing away with the dirty laundry. Now, this is a brand new ownership group in Denver. They're obviously not afraid to spend money, but they're probably not doing it very wisely. If this was a big move that they took. It was a big gamble for an aging quarterback for them to sign almost $50 million a year. So I don't know. I don't know if I would have done it because he's still Russell Wilson, and I don't know. I don't know what the alternative is. Russell Wilson is an okay quarterback.
Maybe There's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. Woo-wee. Michael Penix Jr. is the 8th ranked quarterback in this draft. Isn't that wild? He's incredibly good. Oh, no, the 6th ranked quarterback in this draft. Wow. Can we spend the last minutes of this question to have Pete, because I was going to write a question on this, to have Pete talk about the fire sale in Buffalo right now to get under cap? Because I am very curious of his opinion on it.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I think some of them were good. I think it's like good and necessary.
Tre'Davious
Good,
White
but
made me
not
sad for
necessary
you.
and bad but necessary. That was one of the bad but necessary. It sucks.
Well, yeah,
He was the first draft pick by the McDermott era.
He's going to be very expensive.
But he's not the same player.
Yeah.
He's not the same player. He tore his ACL and never came back to full strength. And then just as he was starting to get to like 80% of that, he tore his Achilles. He's done. He might actually retire.
Really? Wow, that's really bad luck for him. Oh my God, I didn't even know that.
That's a hot take there.
Yeah, that's a hot take. What's the full list, Pete? Do you have to look it up for you, or do you know it? Pete's gone. Bye, Pete.
Oh, I think he's frozen again.
All right. We're at time anyway, so we will move on.
All right,
Mark,
we
do
should
you
move
have a
on,
next topic for me?
No, I don't. Hold on. I could.
All right.
If you give me some time, I could do it. For
Well,
the
I gotta
next round.
find my football question. So, when I totally have one too. Hey, we already almost talked about it. Mark, you have to be faster than this.
What?
I thought you were going to give me
No.
a next topic.
I won't be able to get it. But all right. I'll press the button.
Hey, I'm sorry about that next topic there, Mr. McD.
Well, we're going to continue on with the football talk, and I kind of brought up the rookies in the 2024 draft, but the 2024 NFL Combine was going on this week, and as always, there are some athletic freaks that are already standing out. The biggest one of these, and the ones you've probably heard of, is Texas Longhorn Xavier Worthy, who broke a Combine record, that's right, fastest 40-yard dash ever at 4.21 seconds, at a blistering, I looked this up because I was curious, 24.21 miles per hour, according to Next Gen Stats. So not every 4-2 receiver goes in the first round, but Worthy was teetering on first-round status before the Combine, as he also forced 31 missed tackles on 196 career catches in Texas. And so while Worthy weighs in at a Tank Dell-esque 165 pounds, Tank Dell being lighter than that, by the way, many teams are looking for more athletic gifts in the first round, and so that's how Worthy fits pretty well. Does Worthy make it as a first-round pick? How impactful are rookie wide receivers, and do we foresee any surprises after the Combine?
I mean, there's always going to be surprises after the Combine. I mean, is he going to be a first-round receiver? Probably not. I mean, the receivers with smaller stature tend to not be in the higher rounds because you want to get those automatic like superstars, like the Jamar Chases of the world. Like those are first-round wide receivers. The smaller guys, like Tank Dell was a 6th-round pick, I believe. He was on the lower end.
He was
I
lower.
remember that. And I mean, he's probably going to be probably along the same lines. But you're absolutely right. The fact that there probably is a little niche for these little receivers because especially in slots in the slot, because that's where they tend to kind of move around. You can move around in traffic, and then the big linebackers or cornerbacks, they will lose them in traffic just because they're kind of tiny.
So Tank Dell is 5'10", 165, and Xavier Worthy is 6'1",
He's listed
165.
at 5'10".
Yeah, he's listed at 5'10", right. He is opposite of a Tank. He is a
That's like
tiny little...
5'8" to me.
Yeah, he's a tiny little human.
A mini Tank.
Now, I mean, being in the NFL, he'll probably gain some muscle and whatnot. But I don't know. He'll probably be up there, but I don't see him in the first round.
Pete, you're back. What do you
Anyone
think?
else?
I mean, I don't know. I could leave at any time.
Well, talk while you're not. Talk while you're here, man.
Okay, it's awesome when you put up like track star times at the Combine. The last time I remember a Buffalo Bill in the 4.2s was actually a former Olympian. Wow, now I'm forgetting his name though.
Marquise Goodwin.
2013 draft.
It was Marquise Goodwin.
I do. You know what? I like the stills that Pete has when he freezes.
Real funny.
He looks so happy.
He's really happy to be talking football. It's totally fine. We really need so our friend Alan, hi Alan, is plotting to get Pete Newton Network gear, which he desperately needs. So we're gonna have you guys can we'll put up a Patreon and everything if you want to donate to Pete's Network gear. I think
Patreon.
that it's really interesting to watch the draft because like the draft or the combine because the combine last year had a lot of like very and the quarterbacks mostly, like we saw Anthony Richardson jump over a house, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in the combine where you're like, wow, that's just like, wow. Like, did you see there's a reel where a guy without one step throws the ball perfect 65 yards over a guy's shoulder, right? That was Jalen Daniels. I mean, there are some amazing athletes in college right now. I think that a 4.2 almost flat 40 is going to give Xavier Worthy a heads up. And it's just because, I mean, I saw an adjective for the way he runs. It said Xavier Worthy teleports down the field. And I mean, that's not an exaggeration. Imagine a human running by you at 24 miles an hour. Just imagine that.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, and this human, by the way, he's covered in body armor. He's a body armored human. He's a little bullet. It's wild. I don't know. I like the combine. I like the silly little shirts they wear.
And the whole thing that it's televised now, it's kind of I don't know really how I feel about how the combine being televised and the fact that people actually watch it.
It feels inappropriate to me. Does it
I don't
feel
know if
inappropriate to you, Amy? Like a little bit like they're selling humans. They're like, dance, human. Do your little human tricks. Amy, I promise you, we don't have all sports questions, so it's going to be fine.
Oh, actually, yeah, that was my only sports.
I only did a football question because I wrote it, and because Mark has a football question. I have like a lot of movie questions, so we got you, totally got you. We just got to do a little for all the listeners, for all the people that are listening.
All right, are we ready to move on?
I mean, yeah. We could be ready.
All right, I think I got one. Ready? I gotta do my favorite Scottish accent. All right, ready? They may take our lives, but they'll never take our next topic. Terrible.
Nice.
Terrible.
Come on, take our next topic.
Pete, Mark's been practicing his next topics. His next topic game has gotten very strong.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've been Googling famous movie quotes and I've just been putting next topic in it. But I've been trying to do voices too. And the voices aren't as good as yours, Pete, but
no, it's I applaud the
all right.
I applaud it.
And now for something completely different. Now, the late night show gig has historically been male dominated with Johnny Carson, David Letterman, and Jay Leno. Not much has changed with today's culture with Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert. But recently, CBS decided to replace the departing James Corden with rising star and comic Taylor Tomlinson. Her show, called After Midnight, pretty appropriately named since it airs at 12:35 a.m., has a game show-like theme with three celebrities that compete with each other by poking fun at the internet and pop culture. So everyone, have we checked out Taylor Tomlinson's After Midnight, and do we think it could last for a while? Let's do that first one. Has anyone heard about this show or seen it?
I have not seen it yet, but I love her. She's super funny.
I'm not.
Do we know who Taylor Tomlinson is? Go ahead.
I'm sure if I saw a picture.
So Taylor Tomlinson is a 30-year-old comic. She was on Conan O'Brien when Conan still had a show, and I think she was 23. I think it was 23 when she was on that show. And now she does a lot of touring. In fact, she was the only female in the top 10 for money earned from the tours that she did last year. And she did out of everyone in the top 10, she did the most. And she did arenas. I believe she did a couple stadiums too. I could be wrong about that. But I mean, she did a lot of shows last year. And then Stephen Colbert, who actually produces this show, rewarded her with the late night gig. It's very funny. So mostly they have other comics on, and they do all these games. Like they'll look at like TikTok videos, and then they'll kind of like have the comics kind of either imitate them or just do like some kind of commentary on it. It's a pretty funny show. While they kind of poke fun that it's a talk show, because they have a talk show portion of the show where essentially Taylor just asks 3 random questions, a lot like we do on this show. Anyway, it's very funny. I still I don't usually watch it live. I DVR it. Thank you to YouTube TV, not a sponsor.
I was gonna say DVR.
And
are we in 1997?
Oh, I love my cloud DVR on YouTube TV.
Oh, well,
If we
Cloud
get
DVR
sponsored by YouTube TV, that would be
Cloud DVR on YouTube. I love YouTube TV too.
That'd
And
be
also
fantastic.
so does Pete. Pete just is on a trial of YouTube TV. I'm stealing a
user,
friend's
yeah.
YouTube TV. It's all good, man.
I love it. I
It
love
is
it.
pretty sweet.
Anyway, so I actually encourage you to somehow get a glimpse of it. I don't know if it's on YouTube. They might have an actual YouTube channel. You might want to. I would imagine they do, because I know all the late night shows do that.
Everything's on YouTube.
But yeah, it's pretty funny. What's that, Amy?
Don't they air on Peacock, the late night shows?
So
They're
this
like
is
Saturday
on.
Night Live.
Yeah, this is on CBS, so it might be on Paramount Plus.
Yep. All right. I still watch Saturday Night Live, like when there's nothing on.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
It's
There
Saturday
was a very
night.
last week there, or maybe it was earlier this week. Anyway, they had Jeff Probst on the show as like a guest, and it was actually kind of funny because Taylor was kind of like freaking out, because I mean she knew he was going to be on the show, but and she, if you read about Taylor's backstory, it's very endearing, and she has kind of like something that you root for as well. I mean, she was raised in a very religious family, and I don't know, it just wasn't for her, and she's gone through some pretty serious breakups in her relationships, and she's an advocate for mental health as well. But you could see her being vulnerable with Jeff Probst, because like she had an opportunity to ask him about a question, and her question was, "Can you tell me how I'm supposed to host a show?" I mean, that's part of her shtick too, about her stand-up gig. Like, she's very vulnerable on stage, and she says a lot about her personal life, and she kind of pokes fun at it here and there and whatnot. But I don't know, she's great. And again, if you have an opportunity to catch a show, I highly encourage it.
Speaking about SNL,
I
did
was
you
gonna
guys?
say-
Oh, go ahead, Amy. You definitely talk.
Have you noticed that there's not a lot of female stand-up comics out there?
No.
Like, yeah. So when you said that she made like the most, she was in like the top or the number one.
She was in the top 10, but she had to do the most shows to get there.
Yeah. So I just when you said that, I was like, and like, so like one of the things here, like we don't get like a lot of shows that come out here, but one thing that we do have are like comedy shows, and so Wanda Sykes is coming. this
Oh,
summer.
nice.
I wanna
That's
go.
exciting.
I love her.
Yeah. And when I saw it pop up, and I was like, oh, she's still touring, and then you just said that, I was like, there's not a lot of female comics out there.
That's
You know
cool.
who's super funny? Ali Wong is
So
super
there's some
funny.
amazing female comics.
You guys have seen Ali Wong stand up, and actually, have you guys watched Beef on Netflix with Ali Wong?
Ali Wong, yeah.
That show is incredible.
I haven't.
Mark, that's a reason to get Netflix. That show is so good. Pete, it's got Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Asian comic?
What'd you say, Amy?
Glenn from The Walking Dead.
No, what did Amy say?
Is she the Asian one?
Yeah.
Yes, she's an Asian comic. She's married to another comic, I think. She's or not married. I think she's dating Bill Hader or married to Bill Hader.
Oh, interesting.
Was in Pen 15 and Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yep, Ali Wong's boyfriend
Was she
is
on
Bill
SNL
Hader.
at any point?
Ali Wong, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, she was on
The
it.
name's
She was
really
on it, so.
familiar.
I mean, if you saw her picture, you might recognize her. She was actually in the Harley Quinn movie. She was like the assistant DA.
She was.
Okay.
Also, Pete, just
That's
watch.
the most famous role I
Pete,
can
just
think of
watch
that she's
Beef.
been in.
Honestly, just
She
the
may
next-
be. She might have had a role in Crazy Rich Asians. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Oh, maybe. Okay, that might be where I.
Nah, just watch Beef. That's all you got to do.
hear
Also, I
you.
really like.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
there's a lot of
Sorry.
female comics I really like. I really like Jenny Slate. I think Jenny Slate is really funny. Who else do I like?
Well, so I guess kind of. I mean,
Oh my God, Fortune Femster?
I mean,
Fortune's
the
so
female
funny.
comics. Oh yeah, Fortune's great. Female comics in the past have kind of been, in order to get famous, they've had to be raunchy.
Well,
Like the Wendy Cummings of the world, the Nikki Glazers of the world, the Lisa, I can't think of her last name.
There's a
I mean,
woman.
when they were on all those celebrity roasts and whatnot.
There's a woman at my work who's a professional.
There was a
stand-up
female
comic.
comic. I wish I remembered her name, but she was at the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall. So this was a comedy night that. Do you remember when I was in an acapella group called Revamped?
Humble brag.
For some reason, we opened for this comedy show, and it was this big charity event. There was like 1,000 people in the audience. It was super cool. So we opened the show, and then we got to, of course, after our set, we got to sit down and watch the comics, which was super cool. The second comic on, it was this older woman, and she was fucking incredible. And I wish I remembered who she was. But yes, she immediately turned to raunchiness, but like her whole thing was just talking about men as you age. And I just remember her going, "Your balls will fall." Like the way she did it was, it was amazing.
Pete,
Just
buddy,
talking about just
while
the
you're
tolls
still
that gravity would take
while,
on human
while
body
you're
parts.
while you're still here, I need you to do that again. I'm sorry. What's gonna happen to my balls as I get older? Funny person.
So
Funny McFunny person.
as time goes by, your balls will fall. That was totally her accent too. Like it was incredible. She was like this deep voice woman, and she just like she was raunchy, but she was so good. It was amazing.
All right, and we're done. Time.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, Mark, do a thing, or somebody do a thing. I don't give a shit. All right.
Your next topic will fall.
Baby, do you want to next topic?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. Pete's back with the live take. I'm into it. I'm going to use this. I have been recycling a question for forever, and I'm going to use it. And so, amazing that we're already a third of the way through 2024. I think it's time to think about the movies, and I wrote this in January, but the movies that 2023
Finally.
and the beginning of this year brought us amid the AI revolution and the largest actor strike in history, and of course, the Barbenheimer weekend. What was your favorite movie of 23, and which movies have you the most excited for 24?
Can we first congratulate John for having this sitting in like on deck on his topic list for like
It's been
half a year?
it's
And
been
finally
3
getting there.
full months. I wrote it in January.
Yeah.
Still a lot of shows though, man. He just never came up.
It is.
It never came up naturally, and I like the
I know.
questions that come up naturally.
For
Anyway,
sure.
favorite movie,
I
somebody.
mean, Oppenheimer was my
Amy,
favorite.
why don't you
Go
start
for
with
it.
this one? Got a favorite movie?
Do you guys get movies in Alaska?
Yeah, you know what? I'm struggling
Any
with this
23?
question too.
I mean, did your kids like watch the Super Mario movie? I mean, you could put that one in there.
You can even just
come
say
out
any
in
movie
20.
that you watched on Netflix that was good. It doesn't have to be like a movie theater movie. I just want to know your opinions on movies.
There's this great one on Netflix that I helped work on called The Pale Blue Eye.
It's about
Shameless
murderers.
Hey now.
It is. And Edgar Allan Poe.
I love Edgar Allan Poe, by the way.
You should watch that movie.
I had Jamie
He
listen
helped
to a
solve a
dramatic.
murder.
I let Jamie listen to a dramatic reading of The Raven for the first time today, and I think I blew her mind.
Ooh,
Just saying.
that's cool.
All right, Amy. Amy has no opinions on movies.
And, well, okay.
I mean, ask me about shows are good. Like I actually watched like the Punisher series recently.
Okay.
Oh, like the 2018ish Netflix one.
Yeah.
So good.
We worked a little bit on that in my last job. We worked on all those Marvel shows, and it was a ton of fun. Those were good. I miss those shows.
They were very, very good.
Yeah, so I watched those, and then I binge watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith just recently.
The one that just came out? The remake?
How was that?
That's the new series.
Oh my god, it was really good. Because like I forgot what was in them, but like both of the actor and the actress. They're both,
fucking Donald Glover. Donald Glover's the shit.
Donald Glover. Yeah.
The girl is new, but Donald Glover is Mr. Smith, and Donald Glover is the shit.
Yeah, and apparently he's
nice.
their son, and apparently Danny Glover, all of his kids' names are Danny.
That would be really confusing.
Yeah.
Well, George Foreman does the same thing, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and isn't he like the fifth in his line too? So it's just like never ending Georges.
Yeah.
Something like
I don't
that.
know.
Something like that. I don't know.
I guess Donald Glover is Danny Glover, but he goes by Donald.
I did not know that.
Very
That's a good trivia. John, I'll answer your question. I don't know if this counts because I ended up seeing. So Oppenheimer was a pretty good movie, but I didn't see it in 2023. I saw it this year. So does that count?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Totally counts.
It was. I ended up streaming it at home, and now I forgot the movie was 3 hours long.
It is very long.
So
yes,
I'm watching it, and there's a time when the movie seems like it's about to end, and then it continues. No, I didn't get up. I was just like, oh, that was a really good movie, and then it just continues. Like, oh, it's not done.
Well, like they drop the bomb, and then what happens after they drop the bomb,
so
right?
good,
and that's not a spoiler because we know they do that. So.
Yeah, I mean,
true.
yes, it is a fairly accurate-ish, just historical thing. No,
and watching Robert Downey Jr. play a bad guy, I thought was really intriguing as well.
Oh,
the first
but
big
it was like
project
you
first
weren't
big project
sure
he's
what his
done
angle
after the
was though at
MCU.
first. It was so good. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was awesome.
He was very, very good.
I don't know if you're into any of that, Amy, but it's super worth it. And actually,
I've been meaning to watch that because it keeps popping up on my like when I go to watch TV. The Oppenheimer's out, and I want to watch that.
I mean, you need to dedicate a lot, like your whole day to it. I think, especially if you're dealing with kids.
Yeah, and if Jeff is into like that kind of military history, especially like the Manhattan Project, right? The allure around it, it's. What's that?
He loves like military history.
He would love this movie.
He'd probably really like the movie
because it's a blend of like all this military stuff, but also like the tensions of the culture, the time, right? What a romanticized time this World War II era, and horribly like horrific it was too, mixed with like this crazy, like at the time was like sci-fi, right? Like quantum physics is just becoming a thing. Like people are figuring this stuff out. It's incredible.
Well, the real conversation that happened between the general of the of this project and Oppenheimer, where he asked Oppenheimer what would happen if they set the bomb off, and if he's like, well,
now that is a spoiler. Don't continue, John. Don't continue. That's a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. We know what happens. It's a historical fact.
I mean, people might not be aware that was a potential worry.
Okay, I'm gonna. You know what?
Just in case, just watch the movie. But you have to watch Barbie on the same weekend.
Spoiler alert! If anyone cares about ruining this historical fact, stop listening for 5 seconds. Okay, I've done my due diligence. So Oppenheimer says, well, we either blow up this target or we end the world. He's like, what? Why would we end the world? He's like, well, we're not sure if the reaction will stop because we've just never done it before. We just don't know.
Why wouldn't it just ignite the atmosphere and heat it up to cause fusion in the entire thing and just cause an unrelenting chain reaction? And then they're like,
why not?
Well, chances are near zero.
Yeah, right. He's like, the chances are near zero. Like, wait,
near zero.
There's a chance? Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, what would you like it to be? 0 would be nice.
Right. Anyway,
I mean,
John, what about you, John? What was your favorite movie?
I really liked Oppenheimer. And we've had this conversation, at least between Oppenheimer and Barbie before. And I think, actually, and I know because it is an IP movie, that it will never make it there. But I think Barbie might have been a better movie. Honestly, I think that the characters were a little. I mean, and it's hard for Oppenheimer to be a great epic of a movie, right? Because the characters are already like historical figures. It's already pre-written. We already know what happens. But
yeah,
right. But I just think Barbie was so well done, and I remember going to Barbie with Mel and Jamie.
Barbie was well done.
It was really good.
And I look at Mel and I'm like, I think the Barbie movie just won an Oscar. I mean, like, literally, that was my initial reaction. I couldn't believe it. Another great movie that I saw in 2023 was Across the Spider-Verse. Of all the shitbirds that Sony's putting up, I think the Spider-Verse movies are great. You just have to get around them being animated. I really liked the Super Mario movie, honestly. That was also super cool. And
I enjoyed that too.
don't watch Saltburn with any children, but Saltburn is great, except for the wildly inappropriateness of it, which was a little interesting. I really liked Air. That was really cool. I haven't seen Maestro yet. The idea of Bradley Cooper playing Leonard Bernstein
Well, I wanna see
intrigues
Maestro.
the shit out of me, but I another epic, long, like Oscar troll movie is a lot for me. I think 2023 was chock full of really good projects, really, really good projects, honestly. And I think 2024 has been fine. They talked to Dakota Johnson recently. She regrets doing Madam Web because everybody's making fun of her. Jonathan Majors got put in jail.
Why are people making fun of her?
Because the movie was fucking terrible. It was terrible. It was a bad movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's just like, oh, I'd
Was
never
it
do
Sydney
that.
Sweeney on SNL? She was.
Right. Sydney Sweeney on SNL. Side note, and I was going to bring it up on the last topic.
She was on SNL and in her. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, in her opening monologue, she's like, you may know me from, it's the new movie that she's in. I can't think of the name of it. The hit show
Anyone But You.
Euphoria from HBO, and not Anyone But You, yes, and not from Madam Web. So she was like ripping it apart.
Just a misuse of her and
Thought that
Madam
was
Web.
funny.
She was so miscasted. By the way, and it was what I was going to bring up.
It just seems.
Why are
Yeah.
do we feel angry? I mean, do we feel angry that they put her in a Hooters sketch in SNL? It sort of just pissed me off a little bit. I don't know.
So I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
It was just like
I haven't
dumb
seen the whole
boob.
episode yet. I
It
just
was
saw the
like
opening
dumb
monologue.
boob jokes from 1993, and like I love boobs, right? Boobs are great, but Sydney Sweeney's a really good actress.
Boobs
like,
are great.
Stop fucking around. That's my hot take. I love
She does
boobs,
have really
but
nice
stop fucking
boobs, though.
around. And we're done.
Is that what we're going to end on? That's what we're going to end on?
Excellent. I win.
Amy's so proud to be on this episode, I think.
Oh my God. We're sorry, Amy.
No, we're sorry. I was
All right. I have a long next topic. Ready?
being a feminist.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Unions, and loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next topic.
That's
Wow.
just-
That was like Doug or Tim level next topic right there.
maybe.
So now we know that a lot of people are using drugs like Ozempic for weight loss. Another side effect, though, has recently come to light with regards to alcohol consumption. A lot of people are reporting that they consume less alcohol and, in fact, even crave it less while taking these drugs. This has made so much headway that Oklahoma State University hypothesizes that it could possibly even help with alcohol addiction. Kyle Simmons, who is a professor at OSU, believes that the drug somehow affects the brain signals and may even remove the pleasure of drinking alcohol. So everyone, how do we feel about a weight loss drug that could possibly help with alcohol addiction?
I mean, I don't know. That's just sort of stupid. The idea of a drug for everything, the lazy American's dream, just makes me sad. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean, half of the commercials that you see are for pharmaceuticals, right?
Yeah.
But this is potentially Game
This sounds like
changing.
a good clinical use of it, though. Like really good.
So I'm
No,
glad
no,
you brought this up as a topic. So
What's that?
I'm glad you brought this up as a topic.
Okay.
Oh, go on.
So my older sister who lives here in Alaska, she is on Ozempic, and she has lost 90 pounds.
Ooh.
Holy cow. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And so like her for her whole entire life, my whole entire life, and I've known her that like and understood like she's battled with her weight, and you know we all have, like I have, and it has cut back her drinking, like the Ozempic. And but I don't know. I think it's all about like what you want to use it for, because there's also other medications out there. So like Wellbutrin is used for kicking addiction for smoking. It's also used for weight loss too. So I think like no matter how you look at it, it's as like it's your urges. So it's your urge to drink, your urge to eat.
I mean,
That
makes
is
sense.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing though. Wow.
Well, I think the dilemma.
So are they going to start marketing this though as like specifically a drug to help curb alcohol addiction? Because I mean, I think that might be
here's
a good way to spin it.
the problem, though, Pete. Ozempic is a type 2 diabetes drug, right? And there is
I know.
there is an actual medication shortage for type 2 diabetes. Ozempic being one of them. And like the benefits versus the negatives of something like that, like there's an Adderall shortage, right? Because people take Adderall for performance, like it's a performance enhancing drug, right? But it's also an ADHD drug. So like there is a little bit of like an ethical gray zone that I think we're walking into.
Yeah, which is right. But I think that's why so like the ingredient that's in Ozempic is semaglutide. And so some of these other pharmaceutical companies have come out with other alternatives. So like Zepbound is not a type 2 diabetes medication, but it was developed specifically for weight loss.
Oh, that's cool.
So because of the whole hype of using Ozempic and like it's the GLP-1 for helping, so not to like so that those people who actually needed it for diabetes didn't suffer. Now like both faucets are met, and it's like the same thing with the Adderall thing. So it's like there's some people who need Adderall for ADHD, and then those who use it for like performance enhancing. But there's other, I think it's SSID that the pharmaceutical companies have developed to help meet the needs of those people who really need it for ADHD, and so that way like one group doesn't suffer over the other.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the kind of thing that's going to need to happen, right? We're going to need to figure out how to up because I mean, there's history throughout the history of pharmaceuticals for something being developed for X and actually being better for Y, right? Major drugs, like we didn't just discover antibiotics trying to find a cure for infections, right? We were developing something else, and then we're like, oh, this is really good to fight off bacterial infections, right? And then kind of as a human race, we trip into solution a lot, and then we monetize it, right? Because we love making money. So I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence a little bit, I guess.
That's the American way.
Yeah, it is for sure.
I should have brought this up earlier when we were talking about movies, but I just recently watched this docudrama. The docudrama on Netflix, and it was about the rise and fall of oxycodone.
Oh my god, I watched this show. It was so good. It was so good.
Yes.
Matthew Broderick was an evil son of a bitch, and I wanted to punch him in the mouth.
Yes. Yep. It was evil. And like one of the things that they did like at the beginning, because like I mean everyone was guilty. The companies, the salespeople, they were all guilty. But like one of the things that they were saying like when they were developing it in the laboratory is like take it to make people live again, that type of thing. So it's how can we market this? We get those people to want to be able to live again happy. So
Yeah,
that's-
the show, by the
so,
way,
like,
was
the
called
thing with those
Painkiller.
numbers, like it's all about how they. Yes, that's what it was. It was Painkiller.
Yeah.
So it's all about how like you market it and who you market it to. Like, you know, those people who are watching ads on Facebook for exercise, they're going to start getting these ads on weight loss drugs. You know, because about like it's because like there's that feature that they have on Facebook and it's what do they call it? Advertising. It's the personalized advertising. So depending upon how it is that you're looking or what you're saying, your phone picks it up if you don't turn the settings off in Facebook. So you start looking at like, you know, healthy recipes. They're going to start showing you weight loss injections.
Targeted marketing.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Targeting marketing.
Again, the darkest timeline. Truly,
Yep.
truly and only. And we're at time. Time.
Could you guys tell that my beats died again?
Oh,
Because you're not.
Where did Mark go there?
Because you're not wearing them. That's one thing way I could tell.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, you should charge your beats
I
for the
thought they
show
were
next
fully
time,
charged.
bro. All right.
I thought they were fully charged. Well, no. So the thing, I had been using my Beats for a little while because I couldn't find the cord that connects these to my computer, but I found it like yesterday.
Whoa.
But the Beats are a lot easier because they're a lot smaller. Anyway, I got a next topic.
Sweet.
Ready?
All right.
I am ready. I was born ready.
Get busy living. Get busy living. Or get busy doing the next topic.
That's from Shawshank.
Wow. I gotta watch the movie again. Powerful.
Your Morgan Freeman impersonation needs a little work, bro. All
That's
right,
not
so,
Morgan Freeman. That's Tim Robbins.
Oh, it's
Isn't
Tim
that
Robbins.
isn't that Andy?
That's all
Andy
right.
Dufresne. Yeah.
So actually, my next two topics have to be talked about this week. So
and
it's already been decided. What are you going to say, Pete? Do an impression. I love when you do impressions.
I was gonna say to Cameron Marks, and he did get to the next topic in the Morgan Freeman voice.
Amazing. So,
All right.
everybody, on Tuesday, every Meta platform, including Facebook and Instagram, went down for thousands of users for 2 hours, an event that the company called technical issues. As many as 500,000 users reported an issue. It was actually 576 the last time I checked, as well as 50,000 outage reports for Instagram. This all happened conveniently on Super Tuesday, causing many to think there was a larger scheme at play, but typically platform outages, even national ones, are benign. So with the world relying more and more on mobile news access, how important is our access to social media platforms? And do we think there was a hacker in play responsible for Tuesday's outages?
You know, those conspiracy theorists.
They really like that
This
one.
actually sounds legit. Compared to some of the other conspiracies that come out, this one could have been legitimate. And
It's
will we
possible.
ever truly find out the reason for it? Potentially not. But when this happened, this just made me think of the movie The Social Network. Because that was the whole thing that oh my god, why can't I think of his name right now? Zuckerberg was saying Facebook will never go down, right? That's what Zuckerberg would always say. Facebook will never go down, it'll always be up. And what happened?
Well,
What was weird
but
too
do you think
is
it was sabotage, or was it just a freakish occurrence of like things got overloaded, or like some fish accidentally like ate the cable under the sea?
what was
Or,
weird about this issue is that every Meta platform, and it didn't actually go down. What happened was their authentication servers went belly up. Everybody got logged out of everything. Everybody got logged out of Facebook. Everybody got logged out of Instagram. Everybody got logged out of WhatsApp and Threads. They own a lot of stuff now, by the way, which is really frightening. When
own
you
a
think
lot of
about
stuff now.
how many major
too much.
news source networks went down because Meta just like some guy turned off the wrong server. And when you went to log back in, and initially when I saw it happen, I thought like, oh, my phone logged me out, and so I put in my password and it didn't work. And I was like, well, that's fucking weird, because I thought I knew this password. I looked it up, put it in again, it didn't work. I was like, fuck it, I'll just reset my password. Went through to reset my password, didn't reset, and then Alan's like, hey, like, it's weird, like, all of Meta's down. I'm like, all of Meta's down. I Googled it. I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm just watching. There's a site called Down Detector, not a sponsor. I'm watching Down Detector, number just clicks and clicks and clicks and clicks. And so there's this graph, and it's literally like this, and it goes straight, and it goes boom, all the way to the top. And then it goes down. And we're like, wow, that is a big number. And I'll tell you, I watch Down Detector a lot because I watch it for work. This is the highest number I've ever seen on Down Detector. I mean, they must have lost 500,000 reports. They must have had 50 million people down, 60 million people, right? Just with an inability to get any news for a while. And what was really weird about this issue is everybody else was fine. I went to Twitter to figure out what was happening, and I was just on Twitter for a little while. I was like, wow, so Twitter's fine. And so Elon Musk tweets, he's like, if you see this post, it means my servers are fine. And he's just, he's just clapping back at the Threads guys that he all fired, right? He's just like, hey,
Fucking Elon.
what up, bitches? Right, fucking Elon. So, I don't know. I mean,
What an ass.
it certainly could have been a conspiracy. It could have been that moment in the movie where they take the servers down and do something, untoward. I don't know.
Like some kind of Ocean's 11 thing.
Like some kind of Ocean's 11 thing. Exactly. Is the point where the servers go down. That's what we just experienced as a group. Amy, did you lose Facebook in Alaska? I was going to say Canada.
I didn't. No, I didn't. Depending upon what time of day did this happen?
Tuesday at like
I read
from
about
like
it, but
10 or 11 to noon or 1, like in the late morning, early afternoon.
So
Did
it
you-
would have been like it would have been really early.
Oh,
morning
you
your
know
time.
what? It would have been
Very
too
early.
early for you. So Facebook in Alaska. I said Canada again because I'm drinking too much now. If Facebook in Alaska didn't go down.
Canada.
I said Canada twice. Twice.
She's Canada.
Canada adjacent.
She's Canada adjacent. It's fine.
So what happened with you guys then?
Canada.
And anybody else who's listening?
She's
by the
Russia
way.
adjacent too.
Russia.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
How's your Russian accent, Amy?
Yeah, so it. Oh my god. Oh my god. So I work part-time at a liquor store to help save for our wedding. And there are a lot of Russians here. And they like come in and they buy like grocery baskets and grocery baskets of like booze.
Is it all vodka? Tell me it's all
And
vodka.
they're Russian. No, it's a lot of beer and vodka, but a lot more beer.
Do they buy good vodka?
And
Interesting.
They send like the young kids. Yeah, they'll buy like Pinnacle or like.
Did they buy
like-
good beer?
No, they don't. They'll buy like the women will buy suits.
So it's all about quantity and not quality with the Russians.
Oh yeah, I think so. Sometimes like they'll buy like big bottles of Jose Cuervo or something like that, or Don Juan. But like the Russians, there's a lot of Russians out here.
Interesting.
It's amazing. It's the best thing I've
Just
heard.
hanging out.
It's the best thing I've heard. You have a high population of Russians. We don't have any Russians here. It's far away. I mean, we probably have
Yeah.
some.
No, we have a lot of Russians.
By the way, John, I loved your
Some,
Alan
but-
impersonation.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what he sounds like.
That was great. It's like, oh, Meta's
It's
down.
like he's in the
It's like he's
Yeah.
in the room.
It's got the low voice.
By the way, sneak preview: Alan is going to start an internet venture, and once he does, we're going to have him on the show. Once he's ready.
Oh.
An internet venture.
Yeah, he's ready.
Interesting.
He's ready to join us in streamer content creator land. And we're at time.
All right.
That's time, Mark. Do the thing.
I'm looking.
My German is awfully like my Russian. No, that's British. Oh, golly, G.
Yeah,
What? That was
you're
like
doing so
Australian? I don't know
many.
what-
You're doing so many.
I just switched through 3 or 4 accents.
That's like the mother in Schitt's
You don't
Creek.
know where you're
She's
from.
like the baby, and they're like, she has an undescribable accent.
Guys, you know what I just did? I figured out that I was hitting my CPU limit on why the screens were going gray. So I moved all of my window switching to my laptop, and I'm just going to keep OBS up and pray, and maybe that'll stop. And I keep pulling my shoulder off. There we go. All right, cool.
All right, I'm done looking. We have to move on.
Yeah, so much dead space,
Oh
Mark.
wait, I have a good one for the next. I have a good one for our next topic. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's apropos for what we were just talking about.
It's time for the next topic, okay? It's time
See,
for the
you
next
did it right
topic,
that time.
Except it came through someone else's speaker before it came through the soundboard. That was wild. All right, cool.
That was cool.
All right. So, Sesame Street has been a staple amongst the American family for generations, but recently, the characters that we enjoyed as kids have been making headlines for their social media posts. Earlier this year, Elmo posted on X asking the question, "How is everyone doing?" And within 24 hours, it was viewed 120 million times, and then millions of people reply with their comments. Some snarky, some apparently their lives are about to blow up.
Not
Anyway,
great, Elmo.
Also earlier this week, Cookie Monster decided to throw his proverbial hat in the mix by posting that he hates shrinkflation.
I mean, yeah.
Cookie Monster getting political.
Interesting. Yeah, I never expected that.
So everyone, why are Sesame Street social media posts suddenly going viral, and is it intentional?
It's
What they're
intentional.
doing now.
Of course it is. They have a new social media manager,
I mean,
and their new social media manager is very smart. And he says, let's make Elmo and Cookie Monster part of the conversation. And then people are talking about them, and then they win. I mean, that's all it is. It's a whole new industry. It's a whole new game that everybody's playing.
But I think the initial Elmo thing was just kind of a fluke. It just, I'm sure they expected to get a decent amount of responses, but not the crazy amount they did. I mean,
The
Elmo had to
was
go
on
on
brand for him. The Cookie
Yeah.
Monster one, not so much.
Didn't he have to go on like Good Morning America and address the nation about like that Elmo has seen so many of your conversations and like thanks you for all the responses. To be honest though, I was following Cookie Monster way before it was cool on Twitter.
I follow God on Twitter.
Here I did jot
I did
down.
too.
I did jot down
no lie.
some of the good responses for Elmo. One was, "The world is burning around us, Elmo." Another one said, "Elmo, I'm gonna be real. I'm at my fucking limit."
It's amazing.
We have Elmo. Each day the abyss we stare into grows into a unique horror, one that was previously unfathomable in nature. Our inevitable doom which once accelerated in years or months, now accelerates in hours, even minutes. However, I did have a good grapefruit earlier. Thank you for asking. That was all one response.
Side note, guys, it's 90 seconds to
I mean-
midnight, by the way, just to see how close to doom we are. Yeah, 90 seconds. Slowest
So-
it's been in a while.
Is kind of the response to Elmo's post kind of a little, like John, you like to say, we're in the darkest timeline. Is this kind of just proof of that?
Sesame Street has always been run by, I would say, the intellectually forward. Even if they're in children's entertainment, that is education focused, and it's always been that way. And so I think that the idea of Elmo saying something apropos is on brand for them, honestly. Right? I mean,
All right. So what do you think about Cookie Monster?
Is it not on
commenting
brand?
about shrinkflation though?
I mean, I think that is it. If it's
totally-
if it's from the Sesame Street account, because we have to understand anybody. I don't actually follow God on
It's
Twitter.
from Cookie Monster's account.
I don't actually follow God on Twitter. It's just a guy pretending to be God. So it's not actually Cookie Monster, Mark.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I follow God on Twitter too. No, I'm pretty sure too because he has the Family Guy cartoon version of God as his profile picture.
Right. So, I mean, if it is a Sesame Street sponsored account, if both of them are, or if it's just a guy who is running a semi-successful Cookie Monster account and has decided that Elmo got some attention, I would like attention too, which is probably the way it went down, to be honest. Right?
So, kind of
Right.
going back to the Taylor Tomlinson topic, this was one of their games that they did was they took a look at Cookie Monster. That this was kind of what spawned this topic. saying like because the actual post says that me hate shrinkflation, and everyone was like Cookie Monster, you only know like 3 words in the entire English language. There's no way you know what shrinkflation is.
Hey, Mark,
like, that was one of the comments that
Mark, you
one of
just
the
tripped
comments
into
made.
that, so I'm going to ask you a really serious economical question. What is shrinkflation for the listeners? Obviously,
What is
Oh, yeah.
shrinkflation? So
Yeah.
shrinkflation just happens to be like, let's say you have a bag of potato chips, and at a certain point it was like this size, and over time it went down to this size, but the price stayed the same. So the packaging shrunk, but the price itself stayed the same, and that is what they call shrinkflation. So they're essentially you're paying more for less.
Mark, that's a
And
really
of
good
course,
explanation.
Cookie Monster would be against this because,
Why, thank you.
yes, less cookie, no happy.
Cookie
So
Monster.
like 3 Oreos in the Oreo package instead of 4?
Yeah,
Bastards.
Pretty much.
that is
But
a
for the
perfect
same
example.
price.
Yeah, fuckers.
That would make me cry if I only had 3 Oreos in one bag, though.
That would even be weird though, because it would have to be 2 Oreos. So you have the little 2-packs, and the 2-packs are just not as good as the 4-packs. They're the same.
Or
price.
just it would have to be just like they would have to like 3 by 1
3 by
packaging
1,
or something
so
like that.
bad.
I don't know.
like
How did we get to talking about cookie packaging?
like peanut butter cups. I wish I got 3 Reese's in a package. That would be awesome. Fuck yeah.
That would be the opposite of shrinkflation.
Now I'm hungry. Hey, Mark. Do you know what time it is, man?
Yes. Is it that time? Is it that time?
It is.
Amy, do you know what time it is?
It is 6:53.
Oh no. It's
That was good.
Fucking love you guys.
Hold on, we've lost Mark.
Wait. Hold, please. Hold for final topic.
It's the final topic.
You didn't even let me do the whole thing.
That was good. That was
so
a good one.
sad. That was good. All right. Cool.
That was really good.
Cool.
Yes, is
So
that
another
for
thing
you?
we have to talk about this week, because it's probably the biggest sports
Me too.
news of the month, if not the year. This past weekend marked a milestone in all of college basketball as Iowa women's basketball star Caitlin Clark, probably the most famous basketball player in the world right now, is now the most prolific scorer in NCAA Division I basketball history, surpassing former LSU guard Pete Maravich, previous record of 3,667 points. Nike dropped an ad praising the accomplishment during the broadcast. Did I say that wrong, Mark? I probably did.
A little bit.
All right, cool. Well, you want to say it for us?
Maravich.
All right, shut up.
Pete Maravich.
I said it almost the same. This
You said it
broadcast
way more complex than that.
and many other social media outlets responded similarly, including State Farm, the Indiana Pacers, and the great one himself, LeBron James. Clark will be joining the WNBA next season and is bound to make a splash wherever she plays. WNBA draft tickets sold out in 15 minutes today. That is an update to that question. Do you think Caitlin Clark is another step on the WNBA's gaining momentum? Also, what does the league look like with her and theoretically Angel Reese next season?
So if you take a look at kind of impact on the game, there are few players, both men and women, that have had a strong impact change to the game. You can say that Michael Jordan was one of those people. You could say that LeBron was one of those people.
And they definitely were.
But most recently, Steph Curry has been that person to
Yep.
kind of change the game.
Yep.
And a lot of people are now saying, and this was something that I had brought up, or I was going to bring up too. John and I both had this topic.
the biggest news of the
Caitlin Clark
week.
can arguably change the game again.
Yeah.
Possibly change the game again. You know what? Actually, what the interesting part about this was that LeBron James himself also made news this past this week, being the first NBA player to score 40,000 career points. But Caitlin Clark was a bigger story than he was. And
Interesting.
yeah. So Caitlin Clark actually has one more year of eligibility to play in college. So she could she could like stay again one more year,
But she won't.
and be with like get paid by the Iowa Boosters for however much they're paying her NIL stuff. She is potentially going to be making less money in the WNBA. So she is making this move. Either she thinks that in the long run she'll make a lot of money, and she might get more endorsements out of it. But there is a lot. There's a school of thought that's saying that this Caitlin Clark is the next person to change the game of basketball, and it's going to bring a lot of women to, or she's going to inspire a lot of women to play basketball, or girls, whatever you want to call it. But I think more eyes are just drawn to her. She is an attraction. Did you hear how much tickets were at that game? They were being sold for almost like NBA Finals tickets. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what's really interesting about that game too
she is the main attraction in basketball right now.
Playing Ohio State,
who is
awesome. A major college, by the way. So a major college, and playing against Caitlin Clark, and just the tickets were astronomical this past weekend. And it was also the game that she broke the record, right? And that's those things that happen when Aaron Judge was going after the record, when LeBron was going after the record, those prices go way up because people want to get something signed or get the ball or all that stuff. I'm trying to find Caitlin Clark's NIL deals, and it does not seem like she has that many super lucrative ones. She has a deal with Gainbridge, which is an Indiana-based investment firm. But I think she might be just.
She has an endorsement deal with State Farm. It's a lot of the money I think comes from boosters, but she's got some endorsement deals too. I think she's definitely has one with State Farm. I think she has one with Gatorade. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. Amy, do you know who Caitlin Clark is? I'm hoping you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like the biggest sports fan, but I will tell you, like, so my stepkids are obsessed with Steph Curry. So when I heard the news about her, I was like, yes, finally a woman.
She's making waves, yeah.
Well, I guess for you, Amy,
and she not only is the career scoring leader. Go ahead, John.
No, I mean, you're right, though. She's not only the career scoring leader for women. She's the career scoring leader in Division I college basketball ever. And she's going to finish out the year strong and have a very happy lead on it. But what is your feeling about a woman who plays sports, about the WNBA like starting to make money and starting to get relevance, and their stories like starting to become newsworthy? And I think it's really cool that such a gifted athlete, no matter who she is or what she is, gets to be recognized for just being a gifted athlete, right?
Mm-hmm. And she's an attraction. She is like, Messi in the MLS. People buy tickets to see Messi. People are going to buy tickets to watch her.
Yeah. Sports needs its, like, right? Each major sport, right? It needs its, like, superheroes. I mean, NFL, there's been a ton through the years. They come generational, but like basketball had its Michael, like for the men had its Michael Jordan. Hockey had its Wayne Gretzky, or like, a bunch of others, but like they were like the GOATs, right? Golf had Tiger Woods. So she could be that for the WNBA and really make it like a must-see sport. That'd be really cool.
Now, and because you just brought it up.
I mean, I'm probably going to go. When she comes to Connecticut, I think I'm going to go watch her.
I'd love to see a game. That'd be pretty cool.
Because you just brought it up. We should all go together, by the way, because I love bringing Jamie to women's sporting events. And so if we want to go to another WNBA game, we are down. And because you brought it up and we're talking about the WNBA, I don't know if you knew this, Amy, but this past NBA All-Star game, as one of the attraction events, they took Steph Curry, arguably the greatest shooter in the NBA, and they had him do a three-point contest against a woman, her name is Sabrina Ionescu, who is in the WNBA right now, and she almost beat Steph.
She almost beat him.
She only lost by 3 points. So she literally lost by...
She had to shoot from NBA range, too.
Yeah, she did. She's a beast, so it was amazing. And it was so fun to watch her be competitive, which nobody thought she was going to be competitive. Like, you see Steph, he's making shots from half court. I saw a reel where Steph Curry made a shot in the opposite basket from the exit ramp. Like, the dude is a monster. So it's just really cool to watch the WNBA pick up momentum and pick up speed. I have my sister. Her name is my sister Melanie, who's been on the show. She's a big WNBA fan. We went to the Connecticut Suns game with her last year, and I'd like to go to more. I think that it's just so cool.
I mean, female athletes in general are just like, we're badass.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Hell yeah, we said it on the show before.
Yeah.
The women are really killing it on their social media, and in a way, at least in the college realm, making more money than the men as far as sponsorship deals. They are. I mean, not like the NCAA superstars who make $25 million, but they're just from boosters, right? Gatorade and Nike and Reebok and all these companies, they're signing ladies first. They totally are.
It's all too like, so like I was watching this one thing, I forgot what it was, but like it was about teenage girls being in sports, and about how like when you're in a sport as a teenager, it builds your confidence, builds your self-esteem. So, and it's all about the message too that these female athletes portray versus like the males. So like I was mentioning, like my kids are all about like Steph Curry this, Steph Curry that. Why? Well, because he's a good basketball player. But then you see like these women athletes who have their endorsements and their sponsorships, and the message that they're giving across is, you know, female sports is things that promote like your body image, your self-esteem, camaraderie in life, like, you know, things like that. So it's all about like the message. And I just feel like the women's message is more valuable than the men's message.
I agree.
I've said this before too, and I'll say it again. I actually think the women's game is a pure form of basketball than the men's game, really.
Yeah. More passing, more shooting.
Where'd
you go?
I had to plug my laptop in. Yeah, so
we're almost done. Amy. Don't worry.
There are.
Yeah, but I grew up in.
God.
Sorry. So
That's
like,
okay.
so I grew up like you guys, like, you know, I do sports, but like my dad was an athletic director. So my dad played basketball in college, and my dad was the athletic director at a neighboring high school that I went to, and he coached like girls basketball, girls soccer, he refereed everything. So like I don't know, like I was raised that way to be in sports, and that was like the thing that kind of like that was like the behind like me, my childhood.
Mm-hmm. There are
That's great.
And we're done.
Yeah.
So there are very few. There are lessons that you can only learn in sports, and they're not a ton of them, but they're really important ones. Confidence, graceful losing, like competition, team building. These are things that, like, perseverance, but it's hard to learn these in other ways and other places, and it's really important. I feel bad sometimes that Jamie's never really had a lot of like directed like team sports interests. Like, she swims and she's a good swimmer, but it's a very like a solo achievement sport, and so she doesn't know those things the way that I remember growing up and learning them. And there's just only so much time to teach your kids stuff, right? And she's a great kid, right? She does a ton of stuff right, but you know, I say that to her all the time. I'm like, if you want to join a team sport, I think it'd be really good for you. I think it really would. Anyway, I think we're done.
You gotta start. I mean, you gotta start young. Like, I was playing soccer when I was 3.
Right, for sure. They had this fancy girls' high school that we just went to. They had like 20 sports offerings. They had everything. They had swimming and tennis and golf and volleyball and soccer, basketball and softball. I was just like, you can do anything.
And you never know, she might grow into it one day, John, too.
Yeah, I think she will, especially in a place like that. I mean, all high schools are going to be like that, but especially a place where they're like, try things. And she's like, oh, this is cool. I really like this. So I feel good about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Pete,
so John, I ended up changing the outro a little bit so that I believe it's fine now. You can start it when you normally start it.
All right, sounds good.
Like, when I say we would like to thank our guest, that's when you normally start it, right? We would like to thank our guest.
Yeah, we talked about the timing last time, so because it's Pete's cue, and he told me, and I listened to what Pete tells me.
Yep.
You're supposed to.
All right.
What are
All
you
right,
gonna
ready?
What are you gonna say, Pete?
I was gonna say it's after the guest is thanked. That's when you hit it.
All right. Well, Mark already did his timing, so we're just gonna go with whatever.
Well, okay. Let's see how this goes. Do
It'll
your
probably
thing.
be terrible.
So that has been our topics. As a reminder, we broadcast these live on YouTube on Thursday nights at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. If you can't catch us live, then feel free to watch us on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell. We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Amy.
But, guys,
You can follow or like us on our socials at If These Balls Pod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. Our website is www.iftheseballscoulddtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campania and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk. Bye, everyone.
May your balls not fall.